What's going on, guys? You're watching Sneaker News on YouTube, and today we're unboxing the Off-White Air Max 90 in black and Desert Ore. So as you guys know, this is the Off-White Nike Air Max 90 designed by Virgil Abloh for Nike. It is officially part of the 10 collection, and from what we know, this could be the final chapter of the 10. So in this video, we're going to touch on both of these colorways. This one, of course, is called the Desert Ore, and this is more of that classic black and white that you've seen across all the Off-White shoes. And we'll touch on resale prices, we'll touch on the fit. Of course, in the larger picture, we'll discuss what we expect from Nike and Virgil Abloh moving forward. So before we start, hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to us. We're posting videos and unboxings almost daily. And if you're already subscribed, thanks. So again, just to start things off, like we said, this is the Desert Ore colorway. This is the black-white. Let's start with this one. So this drops on January the 17th at select retailers worldwide. It's going to be $160, but of course, buying Off-White shoes has become a troublesome task, to say the least. So you're going to have to enter raffles. Most of them are on Instagram. Most of them are in-store raffles. We have a comprehensive list of stores. Just check that link below in the description. But let's just get right to it. So, like most of the Off-White Nike shoes, Virgil went for a full, like a monochromatic upper. It's this Desert Ore, which is kind of like a dark tan colorway. And it's actually very, very similar to that All Hallows Eve Nike Blazer that dropped back in October. But the hint of the tan is a little darker. It's almost muddier, if that makes any sense. If you look closely, it's not like that light tan as you saw in that Blazer. It's more like a darker, like a clay color. And then the swoosh itself is not orange, it's more of like a crimson sort of pink tone. So there are definitely a few differences. Right off the bat, it's a very easy comparison to make, but the hues are definitely a little different. And on the swoosh, they opted for like a light teal aqua little flap. We turn it around and you see, the classic Helvetica type Off-White for Nike above the actual swoosh. And some other details include, the Nike Sportswear tongue label that's been turned to the side. You have the exposed tongue, a signature vintage detail that's seen in a lot of the Off-White shoes and a lot of Nike vintage shoes in general. Here we'll take a closer look on the upper. You have, that nylon material, a smooth leather-like material, and you have that really soft suede, of course, with the exposed stitching all throughout. Perhaps the most interesting part about the Air Max 90 is that the heel badge, which is one of the more iconic details of the Air Max 90, is just now a flat, smooth suede sort of panel rather than that big Nike Air Max 90 medallion. It flips upward. It's not really supposed to be like a fold-up kind of thing like you saw with the Diamond Dunks, but it's just kind of like a loose piece, again, speaking to that whole deconstructed aesthetic. So the Off-White Nike shoes have been pretty straightforward. You guys already know the 10 shoes that have come out, and now it's just a matter of colorways releasing. And like we said, this is the final known Off-White Nike shoe until the blue Air Force One that won't drop until later in the summer, but that's far out. But outside of that shoe, there really is nothing else confirmed as of yet, but January 17th, Desert Ore Air Max 90s. We'll quickly move over to the black-white pair. So now we have the black-white colorway. Something that you've noticed over the last few Off-White Nike releases is that they've come in pairs and they've been very, very contrasting in terms of the type of colorway. So there's always been like an all-black colorway or a near all-black colorway, and there's been something a little bit more on the colorful end. So this kind of matches that Blazer pairing. You got the black-white Grim Reaper pair, and you have that tan-orange All Hallows Eve pair. And from what we know, Virgil pushed for more colorways like this, whereas Nike wanted to use more color, so they decided just release both. And that's why the Nike Off-White output in 2018 was double that of the original 10. So since this is more in line with the original 10, these have typically gone for more money in the resale market. For those of you who like all black shoes, this is definitely one of the better Off-White shoes out there. Air Max 90 silhouette in all black with the same materials, the suede, the smooth synthetic, the nylon on the upper. You have the exposed mesh inside the tongue as well as the ankle. Contrast stitching in bright orange. Again, that orange hit has been a signature Off-White detail. It definitely shines through the most in the black and the white colorways, which is why they typically have gone for more money. Again, on the heel, you have the unbranded heel medallion that flips up. On the medial side, the same Off-White for Nike Helvetica print. And that's pretty much it. That's the Off-White Air Max 90. It is the final of the 10 that we know of, January 17th for $160 each. It's been a very, very long, roughly 16 months, because the shoes first dropped in September 2017, and since then it's been an onslaught of Off-White Nike shoes. to the point where people have probably gotten a little sick of it. Resale prices have dipped down. It's because there's so much variety. It's hard to buy all of them unless you're just some rich kid. It's really hard to get the entire collection, but they're ending with a bang. The Air Max 90s have been one of the better ones of the original 10. And like we said, there really isn't anything after this release that's confirmed. You know, we know there's that blue Air Force One that Virgil himself was spotted in, but that's not coming until summer around June from what we hear. But outside of that, there's nothing else confirmed yet. There's all the Zoom Fly running inspired footwear that Virgil did for Fashion Week, but even then, like, we don't know if those are samples, we don't know if they're coming out or not, but that's actually good for Off-White Nike. It needs to take a break. They need to pump the brakes a little bit, and you know, they need to focus on some other projects. They need to let this cool down and simmer down a little bit, because 2018 was pretty much all about Off-White Nike. And not to say that these were bad for Nike, but when you have this shoe on a store shelf, you know, it makes everything else next to it look sort of not as appealing. So in some ways, it hurt its own product. It's tough to see when people are going crazy for Off-White Nike shoes and resale prices are like at least triple or quadruple right off the bat. And a lot of other great shoes that Nike puts out sort of hit the sales rack. So they're kind of in a weird space right now. Nike is number one. Part of it is because they're putting out great product. Part of it is because everyone else is just not doing anything good. It's interesting to see what happens in 2019. There really isn't a true front runner. There really isn't a shoe out there that people are going crazy about. We recently posted an article about the 10 most anticipated shoes of 2019. Outside of the Travis Scott Jordan 1s and Travis Scott Jordan this and Travis Scott Nike that, whatever, there really isn't that much to look forward to. Yes, there's a Jordan 11s coming out in December and things of that nature, but there really isn't much down the pipeline that we know of that have us really, really excited. So that's a great thing. I think that reset button is just what the sneaker quote unquote culture needs, because while this Off-White Nike footwear is great, it's been great for the brand, it's not the only thing out there. So that's the end of our opinion on this matter. It's a great shoe. It's gonna sell out immediately, so you gotta check the store list below if you're trying to cop them in retail. There's gonna be raffles, most of them, so enter as much as you can. You know, people ask us, how do we buy Off-White Nike shoes? Well, for retail, you just have to enter as many raffles as you can and just get lucky. And if you're willing to spend more money, you know, hit up the resale markets. It's really about timing. You know, right before a shoe drops is when the shoe's at its highest. And then once the shoe releases, it kind of dips down a little bit. And then about a week or two after, that's when the prices start to go down. And then they kind of go back up. So there's that sweet spot. We would say like a week or two after the release. And just check on the trending prices and, you know, figure out a price that you're comfortable with paying. So that's the most important thing too. You have to be comfortable with the amount of money you're spending. So again, not to go too far off tangent, this is an Air Max 90 by Off-White, Desert Ore, black and white, dropping January 17th for $160 each. Thanks for watching, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one.